Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome once again to another episode of this series on online teaching, use of English with our destiny. It's another wonderful time to spend to teach us another topic that is very, very interesting. Last time, we concluded our series on Concord Agreement, and also gave us a teaching on the question tags. I believe you watched it, and I believe it was very, very educating. It was very interesting. I've been receiving comments, I've been receiving responses from viewers, and also questions, and we've been answering them as they come. I appreciate you all for your comments, those that have been commenting, those that have been encouraging me, those that have been saying one or two things concerning what we're doing here on this platform. I appreciate you all, and I believe that God will strengthen me and will continue this noble effort to teach for us to learn. One who learns becomes wiser. All right, now today we are going to continue with the series, and today's topic, as I've written on the board, is tautology. Just have seen tautology. Sometimes students ask questions on what tautology is. Sometimes we might have also had somebody make a statement and they say, you have spoken tautology. It sounds good in the mouth, but sometimes students don't really understand what this tautology is and the expression that are tautological. Because if one makes a statement that is a tautology, we say the person is sounding tautological. And what is tautology? Tautology simply means an unnecessary repetition of a word in other forms. That means words that suggest similar meanings in the same expression, or statements that suggest similar meanings in the same expression. When you make such statements as if you are repeating yourself, although it may not be in the same word, it may be different word, but having the same meaning, we say you are now sounding tautological. And tautological can be very, very embarrassing. Using it can be very embarrassing. It makes one sound silly. It makes one sound stupid. In fact, it makes one a mockery of himself. When you use them, people look down on you. People begin to look down on you grammatically. So it's something we should avoid. We try to avoid them, to avoid embarrassing ourselves in the public when we speak. Now, I've selected some of these tautological statements, or some of these tautologies, which are commonly used in this part of the world. I will mention them, and I will also tell you the best way to use such statements so that you run away from being mocked or being laughed at in the public. Now, the first one I'm going to discuss is this one that is very common, which is can be able. The statement can be able is tautological. Very, very tautological. Now, you hear people say, if you give me 3 plates of rice, I can be able to finish them. If you give me 3 plates of rice, I can be able to finish them. Such statement sounds stupid, in fact, because when you use the word can, you are also implying being able. You either say, I can, or you say, I am able. So you can use both can and able side by side in one statement. If you do that, you will sound tautological. So you either use can. You say, I can finish 3 plates of rice. I can finish 3 plates of rice. Or you say, I am able to finish 3 plates of rice. These are the 2 ways you can use it. I said you can say, I can finish 3 plates of rice, or I am able to finish 3 plates of rice. Don't say, I can be able to finish 3 plates of rice. If you do that, you have repeated yourself, because can means being able. Both of them should not be used side by side in the same statement if you want to sound good. All right, that is number 1. Now, number 2, I want to discuss is this: repeat. Repeat again. Repeat again. So go to the extent of saying repeat it again. You hear somebody saying, repeat what you said again. Repeat what you said again. Now you begin to wonder, what is repeat? Repeat simply means performing an action the second time. And again also suggests the second time. So you don't say repeat what you said again. Rather you say repeat what you said. You stop there. Or you say what you said again. The two ways you can use this expression is repeat what you said or say what you said again. These are the two acceptable forms of that. So you don't say repeat it again. You say repeat it or say what you said again. You can even say repeat what you said. So both of them should not be used side by side in one statement. If you do that, you have sounded tautological. Alright, I believe that you have known the best way to use these two words, two expressions. Let's go to the next one. And next one is come back. Come back again. Come back again. It is a common experience here. You go to somebody's house. Maybe you go to see Mr. A and Mr. A is not around. You just met the wife. And the wife will tell you, my husband is not around. Why not come back again in the evening? Why not come back again in the evening? This statement is not very sound. Because to come back means to come again. So you don't come back again. Rather, you come back in the evening or you come again in the evening. So you can tell the person, please come back in the evening. Or you tell the person, please come again in the evening. You don't say, come back again in the evening. You are unnecessarily repeating yourself if you say that. So we say, come back in the evening or come again in the evening. Don't join the two, saying, come back again in the evening. If you do that, you are off the track. You're sounding tautological. Okay, that is number 3. Let's now quickly go to tautology number 4. Tautology number 4. I believe you're following because you don't need to continue making use of these after today, because as I'm marking them out, as I'm teaching them, I believe that you're going to have a change, assuming you'll be using any of them wrongly. Okay, the 4th one is return back. Return back. I had a woman who sells drink. It seems she gave somebody money to buy drinks for her, and the person disappointed. I had her making call. That was a few days ago, and she was saying, please, if you can't bring the drinks, return back my money. If you can't bring the drinks, return back my money. You really hear people say, if you finish drinking, return back the bottle. Return back. And then you get to ask, what is return? What is return? You know, I found out that to return means to either come back or to bring back, which means when someone mentions the word return, back is implied. When you mention return, back is implied because you can't return front, right? You return back. So return, in saying return, back is also named. Therefore, what we usually say is, if you can't buy the drink, that's what that woman should say. If you can't buy the drink, return my money. If you can't buy the drink, return my money. Or, if you can't buy the drink, bring back my money. If you can't buy the drink, bring back my money. So you don't say return and back the same time in one expression, back to back. Definitely you will end up speaking tautology, and it will be highly embarrassing. So either say return back, return the money, or bring back the money. Alright, let's see tautology number 5. Tautology number 5. The tautology number 5 is one that is common among our teachers. But forgive them, all teachers are not grammarians. If you're a student and the teacher comes to your class and make this statement I'm going to make now, please pardon them, or pardon him or her, because all teachers must not be grammarians. We have science teachers who make use of science vocabulary or science statements, science terminologies or jargon. So they don't so much believe in excessive grammar and all the rest. Now, that one is raise up your hand. It's a common experience. A teacher will come to the class and ask a question, and will say, if you know the answer, raise up your hand. It is tautological. So we need to know the right thing to say. Now we say, if you know the answer, raise your hand. Or if you know the answer, put up your hand. You either say, if you know the answer, raise your hand, or if you know the answer, put up your hand. Please don't say, if you know the answer, raise up your hand. If you say that, you are going to land yourself into tautology usage. So why is this so? Raise means to put up. To raise means to put up. So you don't say raise and also put up and up at the same time, because when you say raise, up is also implied. Because you can't raise down, you can only raise up. You can't raise down. So raise implies putting up. So when you use raise and up side by side, you are repeating yourself unnecessarily. I say you should say, if you know the answer, raise your hand, or if you know the answer, put up your hand. These are the two ways you can say it. Now let's see tautology number 6. I believe I'm communicating and I'm teaching somebody here. Now, tautology number 6 is sufficient enough. Sufficient enough. It will embarrass for somebody to say, the money you gave to me to cook, or a wife will tell the husband, the money you gave to me to cook was not sufficient enough, so I couldn't cook. This is embarrassing. It's an embarrassing statement. Why is this so? The word sufficient means being enough. So when something is sufficient, it means that thing is enough. When something is sufficient, it means it's enough. So you now see that sufficient and enough, they are synonymous. They can be used side by side because they suggest similar meanings. You don't bring two of them together. If you do that, you are unnecessarily repeating yourself and you may be sounding silly to the listener. So you either say, the money you gave to me wasn't sufficient to cook, or the money you gave to me wasn't enough to cook. These are the two ways. The money you gave to me wasn't sufficient to cook, or the money you gave to me wasn't enough to cook. So you don't say the money you gave to me was not sufficient enough. No, you'll be sounding silly. So don't use two of them at the same time, side by side, in the same expression. Have the correction hand. I believe you're following. I believe you will not say them as I've said. Make sure you're using the right version of it so that you will sound very confident in the public. Alright, now let's look at the number 7 tautology we have. Tautology number 7. And tautology number 7 is reason why. This one, almost everybody is a victim. Reason why. The reason why I didn't come on time is because it rained. You see, somebody saying that confidently. The reason why I didn't come to your house is because it rained. The reason why I came to school late is because it rained. So if you make such statement, definitely you are sounding tautological, because reason means why. The reason for an action is still why it happened. So you don't use reason why at the same time. You simply say, the reason I didn't come to your house is because it rained. Or, why I didn't come to your house is because it rained. Two of them are very, very acceptable. Reason I didn't come to your house because it rained. Or reason I didn't come to your house is it rained. Or, why I didn't come to your house because it rained. So you don't say the reason why. You don't say the reason why I didn't come to your house. If you say it, you have used two words that suggest the same meaning, side by side in the same expression, and you are going to land yourself into tautological expression. So avoid it. Okay. Let's quickly look at the 8th one. I said I just selected Then there are many here. There are many. A lot of them, people use them as they like to pass information, but they may not really know that they are sounding tautological in the ears or in the eyes or mind of the reader or the listener. Number 8 is short knicker. We know that this one is common. Short knickers. Short knickers. You know, as I would say, when he came, I was wearing short knickers. Some will even say short knicker. They won't put the X. They say when they came, I was wearing short knicker. Now, you don't see that when you use the word short, definitely knickers is also suggested. What is knickers? Knickers is a pair of short wears. That's what they can wear inside. So we either call them shorts, a pair of shorts, or a pair of knickers. A pair of shorts or a pair of knickers. You don't use the two at the same time. Short knickers is sounding very silly, but it's sounding very tautological because two of them suggest the same meaning in an expression. All right, let's see the next one, and that is extreme end. Extreme end. Extreme end. Extreme end. Extreme end is another tautological statement here that is not acceptable. It should be avoided. It should be avoided all the time. Now we have extreme. And what is extreme? Extreme means the end part of a particular environment. The end part of a particular environment. And definitely when you use extreme, you are suggesting end. When you use extreme, you are suggesting end. So you don't use the two at the same time, side by side in an expression. You will end up sounding silly and stupid. And somebody that is listening to you will be startled. The person will mark you down in the area of grammar. So if two of them suggest the same thing, definitely you use one and not the other at the same time. You can say, I dropped a bag at the extreme of the class, or I dropped a bag at the end part of the class. So you either say, I dropped a bag at the extreme part of the class, or I dropped a bag at the end part of the class. Both of them could be acceptable, both of them could be used, the two of them should not be used at the same time. I repeat, I dropped your bag at the extreme part of the class, or I dropped your bag at the end part of the class. Both of them could be used. But you don't say, I dropped your bag at the extreme end of the class. You don't say that. It will sound very silly. It will sound very silly. Now, the next one I have here is should in case. I have the next one, and that is number 10, tautology. I think I'm going to give about 11, remaining one. There are a lot of them that we cannot continue after 11 because we have a lot of them, you know them. Now, should in case. It will sound very silly for someone to say should in case. Should in case. Why? Should suggests the same meaning with in case. So two of them should not be used the same time in one expression. That means placing them side by side. You say, should he come, tell him that I have gone. Should he come, tell him that I have gone. Or, in case he comes, tell him that I have gone. In case he comes, tell him that I have gone. So you don't say, should in case he comes, tell him that I have gone. Because both of them suggest the same meaning in the same expression. I repeat, you should say, should he come, tell him that I have gone. Or, in case he comes, tell him that I have gone. You don't say, should in case he comes. It sounds very silly. Tautological in the expression. That is how this one should be used. Now let's look at the last one I have. That is a bending corner. Bending corner. This one sounds very cake. Bending corner. This one is usually used by our grandfathers and not rest. They say bending corner. Bending corner is tautological. You just say I met him at the bend of the road. Or at the corner of the road. I met him at the bend of the road, or at the corner of the road. You don't say, I met him at the bending corner, or even I met him at the bend corner. Both of them should be disused. You don't use them because they sound very stupid. Now, you should also know that there are some expressions that we are used in the olden days that are no more in vogue. There are some expressions that have been outdated. some expressions have gone instead because when you analyze them in the modern English, they don't fit in. There are some expressions that have been used in 1940s, 1930s that are no more in vogue. Let me just give you one of them. Expression like more grease to your elbow. More grease to your elbow. I know that this expression was in use some time ago, around 40s, 50s. This expression was very sound. When somebody does something that is encouraging, you say, more grease to your elbow. More grease to your elbow. But this day, you don't say that. Rather, you say more power to your elbow. It has been changed to more power to your elbow. So don't say more grease to your elbow again. It is now an archaic English, outdated English. It's no more in use. Now, we also have another one like, let me remember another one. Something like, okay, more grease to your elbow. Nook and cranny. I searched for it at every nook and corner. That is what it was in the olden days. I searched for it at every nook and corner of the room. But this day you say, I search for it at every nook and cranny of the room. So I don't want to dwell into this now. I just finished teaching tautology. I just want to let you know that most of these things we say that were said during olden days, you may hear our grandfathers saying them. You don't join them because they lived in that particular age. You are living in a modern age where English has been acculturated, the modern state now. Because language grows like human being, language grows. So as we are growing, as we are civilizing, language is also civilizing. So when you have an expression that is no more in use, please make sure you avoid them. Dictionary will tell you better about that. The grammar points in dictionaries. Some of us who have dictionaries, we don't use them. Sometimes open your dictionary, read dictionary like a textbook. Dictionary is not meant to be a reference book, but it's supposed to be a textbook where you can go and learn. So if you open dictionary, there are some areas that we call the grammar point, new expression, old expression. You should also acquaint yourself with good dictionary that will teach you some of these things so that you continue improving. All right, viewers, I believe that I have been able to pass across a very good message to you on tautology. I know that some of you that are watching might have been victims of all these things I've just said today on tautology. The best you have to do is change. Hear what I've said and begin to change from the old method to the new method. And I believe your expressions will highly be polished and sharpened up. When you speak in the public, somebody will listen to you and will also appreciate you. Thank you and remain blessed till we meet again.